What is going on? Welcome to Will and his channel. I'm Will, and that's it. It's my channel. And we're going to kind of start things off today with a little bit of housekeeping. Some of you may have noticed, all 40 of you, not exactly a huge channel, but there have been a couple changes to the YouTube channel. I've updated the YouTube header. I've changed my profile picture from being black and white to something a little more colorful and appealing. And I've pretty much gone and updated all of the social media platforms. I'm pretty much on all of them now. I'm even on TikTok, as cringy as that is. But hey, gotta get the engagement. And not only am I changing exactly like what platforms and stuff I'm on, but I'm also changing what kind of content I'm making. That isn't to say that I'm going to be stopping making film photography based content. You'll actually notice my last video was about the history of Konica, which are my favorite film cameras to shoot with. I'm actually just trying to divert the channel into something, that kind of evolves with me. The channel was never Will and his 35mm film collection or anything like that. It's Will and his channel. It's about my creativity, whatever I'm expressing. So if you're mad about that, then unsubscribe. But I don't think really that's going to be the case. And honestly, I think if you stick around, you're still going to be pretty much pleased with all the content that I make. We're going to be talking about, photography, art, music, politics, and then kind of like the philosophy that ties all of that stuff together. Don't get turned off when I say politics. We're not going to be like doing, reacts or anything like that. I'm not going to be talking about Donald Trump every day or what Joe Biden's doing or any of that goofy stuff. More just kind of how that stuff relates to the greater culture. I'm also going to be posting the restreams from my Twitch, or at least I'm going to be kind of chopping them up. By the way, if you haven't done already, go hit up my Twitch and follow me. Playing RuneScape. That is where I'm kind of reacting to political content and giving my hot takes, if that's where you want to go see that. That's not going to be on the YouTube. The YouTube is still going to be produced content, opinions, stuff like that. And once again, don't be scared if you think you're missing out on the film photography content, because I still got plenty of that. I'm editing a video about my trip to Mexico. Been saying that for months, but hey, it's a super long project. And I literally just got a roll of Portra 400 developed. So that video is going to come out soon. It was on a new camera I just bought at the thrift store, which is really fun. Oh my god, I just realized, have you been in there this whole time, Cat? Crying. But yeah, thanks for sticking with me. Thank you to the almost 10 to 15 people that have subscribed just in the past 2 weeks since I've made my Konica history video. You guys are awesome. That content is still coming. I'm making a new history video about Zenza Bronica, not Konica, Bronica, my other favorite esoteric Japanese camera company, that actually has a really cool, unique history too about how they turned into a modern day company. So Bronica still lives to this day. Anyways, get right to it. What you're probably here for, the thumbnail. So Mr. Girl is a YouTube content creator, rapper, and now Twitch streamer, I guess you would say. He's kind of infamous right now around the online scene. He just popped up around a month and a half ago. He was on Destiny's stream, and he's just been known for having really interesting takes. He will do this kind of thing where he will say that you don't believe what you're saying, like basically kind of question your internal thought processes. And it's very interesting. I find it very compelling. And the way that he has discussions with rather deplorable people. He's recently had discussions with Lauren Southern and God, what's that other white supremacist guy? I'm going to put it here, whatever his name is. But anyways, those discussions were really, really interesting, and I highly, highly, highly recommend you go check out his channel. You may have heard really bad things about him. I suggest that you go check it out yourself. I'm not saying that the guy's perfect. In fact, the premise of this video, right, is I have several criticisms with this specific video that he put out, which I believe is Questions and Confessions number 3 with Mr. Girl. I have a stream VOD on my Twitch that you can watch where it is me watching the entire 2.5 hour long thing. It's about 4 hours long. You can watch that if you like. That's not going on YouTube. This is actually kind of in response to one of the callers that called in. And I'm going to have a little section here that kind of goes over me watching it, so you don't have to watch the whole 4 hour vid.
I guess I just struggle with separating my motivation from the outcome.
Yeah, you want to be rewarded every time, but you can't.
Yes, like it'd be great if I could intrinsically motivate myself to be like, oh, the process is great. Like writing a really bad song feels great, but like,
Okay, but if
See,
it did, then everybody would be really good at writing songs.
yes, that is true.
I don't know. See,
That-
the thing
that
is that...
unpleasant process.
All right, hold on. Let's get at this because we're actually getting into something that my channel speaks on a bit. Like, I think that if you're a creative person, that process you do intrinsically like. Like, this guy is complaining about practicing guitar because he's practicing guitar and he's mad that he feels like he's never going to be able to be a good songwriter because he writes a song and the song's trash. Like, my dude, you kind of just need a bit of a backbone. Like, that's how it works, you know? If you want to be good at something, you need to work at it until you're good at it. Like, you can't be mad that you start doing something and you suck at it in the beginning. Like, I don't even think, they keep talking about Paul McCartney here. Like, I highly doubt Paul McCartney was a freaking slayer as soon as he had a guitar in his hand. Like, I'm sure that it still took him, a minute. I'm sure has higher aptitude than all of us at playing guitar, but, like, dude, it's what we all do. It's what all artists do. Like, are you an artist? If you are, then, like, suck it up. Like, you gotta work on it, I don't know. Let's see how this conversation keeps going. I think Max is hitting this guy with the kid gloves because he doesn't want to, like, turn him off right away. But, like, for real, dude, it's called get on that grind. A lot of us are grinding out here,
This is the filter.
I'm a shitty streamer right
stops
now. This stream probably blows. When I go and edit this
the
video, this
non-Paul
video is gonna
McCartneys.
suck. Like, just keep working at it though. Maybe I'll
You
make
know?
a good
And
video
guess
one of these days.
That goes back to my FOMO thing. Like, damn, will I just never get to experience, like, even a slight part of that?
No, not with this fucking attitude.
I think you can, but you have to give up everything else. Is the thing. That is Paul McCartney's entire life and legacy. Is that all he will ever be is a guy who wrote some good songs. So I assume he has FOMO too. Like, there's probably other things he wanted to do that he just, like, didn't do.
True.
Yeah. I like, if I did that, I think I would also feel like, damn, I missed out on so many things.
Yeah, you'd be like, this is it. I sit here with a fucking piece of wood and some, like, strings attached to it and pluck them. Like, I just, like...
I don't be okay with that.
You what?
Like, I don't... Like, it feels really hard to be okay with that fact.
Yeah, so I think another...
Dying and the fact that I'm going to die and not get to experience a lot of things.
Yeah, death is a big problem with this, what you're talking about. Because the way I think of it is, time is so valuable that it's not really worth anything you spend it on. Like, time is...
Wasn't that an interesting idea? Time is worth so much that it will never be worth what you spend it on.
When you run out of time, you die, and that's bad, and it makes it so everything you did didn't matter. So time is very important. You really want to have time. And so is it worth 2 hours to pluck your strings on your guitar at the idea of getting, like, marginally better at it? No, not really. Is it worth your time to work, like, a 8-hour shift at your job for whatever they pay you? Like, no. Is it worth me spending my time, like, making these YouTube videos and Twitch streams, hoping that somebody watches them and takes something away from them? Probably not. Ultimately. Like, when you're on your deathbed, if you had a choice of, like, hey, would you want to trade in all of your guitar? Like, you won't know how to play guitar anymore, but you can live for another 5 years. You'll be like, yes, I will do that.
I don't believe that.
But
I don't believe that. I don't believe that Max feels this. Okay, I'm gonna write this down because I think this is really interesting. I don't believe that he believes that. If you were On your deathbed.
Forced to spend time. So it's like having a gift certificate, like a gift card to like life that you have to spend constantly. And so if you audit every single thing that you spend time on about whether it was worth it, the answer will almost always be no, unless it's like an orgasm or like a particularly like great moment. Usually you're going to feel like, yeah, that was great, but like I could have been doing something else. But you can only do one thing, and you can never do all the things you want to do. And so everything on some level is like a phenomenal waste of time. And I feel like if you can accept that rather than thinking like that there's something else you could have been doing that wouldn't have felt like a waste of time. Like I'm sure Paul McCartney feels like he wasted his fucking life too. He can't really talk about it. Like he would sound like a fucking asshole calling into a call-in show to talk about that. But I'm sure he feels it that way. And yeah, I think that's just part of FOMO.
So that ends up boiling down to kind of an interesting series of events. So I wrote a question on the stream while I was watching the thing just kind of for fun. So the next day I found out that Doobie, who's kind of notorious around the Twitch politics scene, who I'm going to do an interview with soon, was having to ask me anything with Mr. Girl on his giant politics Discord. So I went to the Discord and I submitted my question and I went in the chat. And sure enough, it was actually really cool. My question that I had written for Mr. Girl was answered. Well, asked. I got to ask it to Mr. Girl myself, and it was really cool. Cat, no. He answered. We had a small little back and forth, and I honestly thought it was really cool. He seems like a pretty interesting character. So I have that for you now. I have just the little clip of when I talked to him, and that is what I'm posting. And all in all, I just want to say that I thought it was interesting. I want to clarify that there is a part in the VOD that I'm about to post right now, that you're about to watch right now, and I definitely tripped over my words, just kind of in excitement, as nerdy as that is. It was really cool. It's cool when you watch a dude for so many hours every week, honestly, and then you finally kind of get your little, 10 minutes to talk to him. Very interesting little experience, you know? But anyways, I tripped over my words, and I meant to say life, but I said death, and then there was kind of a part where he was like, they're both death, and then I was confused because I thought I said life, so there was a bit of a thing, but I think we recovered after that. And hey, Mr. Girl, if you're out there watching it, out of curiosity, maybe we could have a little chit-chat, we could elaborate on some stuff. Please, I would prefer not to talk about politics. I'd just like to pick your brain about creativity, maybe about how you produce your rap albums, me being a bit of a rapper myself. And yeah, thanks for sticking around, guys, for the housekeeping. We got some photography videos coming up, other politics and philosophy related stuff coming up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get into it. Yeah.
Okay, next question is going to be from Will.
Oh,
Will,
it's me.
go for it.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Mr. Girl. How's it going? I've been enjoying
Hey,
our
Will.
parasocial relationship that we've been building over the past month or so since you've been on Destiny's channel. Here's my question.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
And this is actually kind of in regards to the question and confession that you did, or that you posted on YouTube a couple days ago. So here's my question. Max, you are on your deathbed, okay? In your final 15 minutes of life, death comes to your bedside and makes you an offer. Max, you've lived to the ripe age of 75. Throughout your life, you have produced work that has benefited the world and overall has helped the entire planet become a more empathetic place. For all intents and purposes, your life goal has been achieved. In exchange for all of the outcomes of this work, memories, experiences, benefits, and even the benefits experienced by others that came from these works, I can extend your life back by an equal amount of time that it took to create these works, as well as practice. Will you accept this exchange?
Suck it, death.
But my man, this is kind of the opposite of what you were saying to the dude in the thing. Because another one of these quotes I just thought was really interesting from you. Time is worth so much that it will never be worth what you spend it on. How do you correlate the two?
Know. Um,
I think it's because you're an
it's
artist.
not that it wouldn't. It's not. It's because I'm what?
An artist. Like, I think I've asked a lot of my artist friends the same question, and it's like, I'm an artist too. I would never give up my art, no matter what, no matter what.
Exactly. It's not. It's not that it's not a good question. It's not. And it's, oh, sorry. It's not that. It's not that it's not a good deal. It's that I would just have to say, go fuck yourself.
Okay, interesting. So it's a good deal, but for you
I-
personally, no.
I don't know. If I'm 75 and I get to go back to being 35 again and just live my life.
No,
Wait, couldn't
no.
do all
I'm
this-
just gonna
couldn't I
extend.
Couldn't I just?
No, I'm just gonna extend your
Oh,
life.
I just get to live to be like 105. Well, that's easier to say no to because I see what you're saying. How important is it to me at 75 to? Because I'm gonna die, and when I die, it won't matter what I did anyway because I won't be aware of any of it. So it's more like, do I want to have 15 more minutes of knowing that? That would
Maybe.
be a pretty bad 15 minutes.
Well, I thought it was interesting because you were using an Elton John example, right? If I'm not mistaken, or maybe it was Paul McCartney. I'm sorry, but with the guy who was playing guitar, and you were saying that maybe even Paul McCartney on his deathbed, he's sitting there looking at his guitar in the corner of his room, being like, "Holy shit! I spent all this time playing guitar when perhaps I could have been doing God knows what, right?" And we don't know what's inside of his mind. But I'll be honest, I'm sure Paul McCartney would die and look at his guitar and be like, "Yeah, I did it. That was worth it." And I think a lot of artists would be like that. And then I think that kind of debunks the whole, like, nobody, the whole, like, when people like, accepting death is almost suicidal was another kind of thing that I thought was interesting that you said. Like, I don't think that's true at all. I really don't. I don't think you think that's true either,
I do.
You do. Interesting.
I don't say things unless I think they're true.
Then how would you correspond that with your own personal take, I guess?
On saying no to death?
Yeah, you wouldn't take the offer to extend your life in exchange for all of the work that you've done throughout your life. But death is the most important thing in the world. How would you go between the two?
Well, they're both death. It's just one. It's one. They're different kinds of death. One is erasing all of my own work would be an extremely shameful, embarrassing moment that would also erase a lot of my love for myself. And I don't know that that's worth trudging on at age 75 for another, several years.
We don't have to harp on this too much because I know there's more people to get to. But I don't think that you think that your life is more important than the summation of all of the works and good things that you've done throughout your life. And I think that's probably how the majority of most people feel.
I think that you are in denial and that you are making these equations as if you can choose whether to spend all your time. Even the fantasy that death can be negotiated with is a fantasy that time can be negotiated with, that as if you have a choice, but you don't. So I understand the fantasy, and even asking the question of what's more important, your life or blah blah blah, as if the answer can ever be anything other than survival, is itself a fantasy about being immortal and having a choice, but you don't have a choice. So what I was saying was in the context of time is the most valuable resource we have, and we are forced to spend it.
Yes.
Like having a gift card to Target, and you can spend as much as you want, but then you get kicked out in an hour. So in your hypothetical, you're saying you're just changing that. And I understand why, but
Like, I don't think Leonardo da Vinci would ever have traded his works for
Yeah,
for
you
any
can keep
extension of
changing
life.
the name of the fucking artist, and you can keep changing the names around, but it doesn't change my view that you're. It's not just trading the works. You're also accepting that you are destroying your own work. But like if somebody came into my office right now and held a gun to my head and said delete your YouTube channel or I'm gonna blow your brains out, I probably would delete it.
Okay. Yes.
Right.
I feel that.
But then in my head I'd be like, well, I can always re-upload. I have copies of all this stuff, and like if he's and I'd be like, well, I could always make more. I'm sure I would find a way to rationalize. I really doubt I would be like, do it, bitch.
I know what
But
you
you're
mean.
talking about winking out. You're talking about winking out my life from existence, and
Kinda.
and
Almost like
like
you'd be on a
is-
different
isolating
timeline.
myself. Exactly, and then so like that's very isolating, and basically, you're introducing a whole bunch of other factors that make it an interesting hypothetical, but I don't think it proves your point, and I think you're in denial about your own mortality.
Very possible. And I appreciate the conversation, and I'm going to take what you've said and marinate on it. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Mr. Girl.
And thank you.
Oh, thanks, G.
Extremely wholesome. Next question is about you being murdered. So the question is,
Yo, that was
Does
awesome.
anybody
That
ever
was
pose a
really
serious
freaking
threat to your
cool.
life or the things you
Yo,
do?
that was really cool.
If so,
Holy
how
shit.
did that situation play?
That's a freaking highlight.
I would say I received probably 500 death threats.
Oh my
after
god.
the Judy's
It
review.
happened. That is so cool.
Emails, messages, comments, a lot of emails, a lot of threatening emails.
I'm a little starstruck, I'm not gonna lie.
and
What do you do when you're literally are like watching hours
I
and hours
recorded
of
a
this
couple
dude's
of them
content, and
that
then you
seemed
just
more
get your own little
serious.
moment right there?
Nothing
That
happened.
was fucking sick.
Okay, but nobody's ever like come to you and like in person and like threatened you.
I don't know, he seemed, I don't know,
in college,
seemed like a nice guy.
people came up to me and screamed at
I'm
me.
gonna be perfectly blunt though, I still don't believe him.
Okay.
That's because I was.
I
hearing
could
them
be
out
in
public.
denial.
People
I mean, I
don't
really
believe
could though, because I kind of understand that. How do you know?
Okay. Next.
I'm personally gonna
that's
sit
nothing
and
too
reflect,
serious.
and I'm gonna
Just,
see if I was in denial or not. Because I
feel
could have
like
been.
I have interacted
I don't
with
know.
people who, if they were in the room with me already, would probably attack me.
I don't think I am though,
But
honestly. I think that
I've not encountered anybody who
when you're an artist and when you're
seemed
creative
too serious,
and you're
I
just doing
guess,
things
about,
like that,
finding me.
at some point when you're doing art and creative stuff,
Okay. So speaking
that
of
really
the
does
Cubes
become
review,
more than
we
your
did watch
life,
that earlier,
you know.
and lots of people had lots of questions.
That thing that he was like, if someone came into my
So I'm gonna get
office
through
and
some of those.
you know had a gun to
So
my head
the
and said
first
delete your
one
YouTube
is
channel or
from
I'll kill you, like I
Lemon
get that, you know.
Libtard.
I literally have
Question
a
is,
giant,
has
you
your
know,
opinion changed
multi
on
hard drive. What do they
QBs
call those
since
things?
you made the
A
video?
NAS, right? A giant storage device, right? With like
my only
terabytes
opinion
of my
that's changed
music
is I
that
kinda
I've
don't
made,
think
me
Netflix,
personally, my heart and
is
soul,
a good
all of my heart and soul, and all this
forum
music and stuff that I've made.
for
And if a
cues.
dude came and was like, "I'm gonna blow
I
your
think
brains
that,
out, or you need to
I like
light your
that
NAS
Netflix
on
is
fire,"
trying to have challenging content.
I think I'd
and
take a whole
expand,
15 seconds to think
and
about
I
it
like that
before
they
I
didn't take it
deleted
down.
everything on my
But
NAS. You know,
I
like
think that
because I could just create new stuff. You know,
it's a nuance.
and then I can also
film
accept that
to the point
perhaps
where-
with
I
my
guess I kind of want Netflix
hypothetical,
to
I
choose, like,
added
is
too
are you
many.
doing art films
Maybe with
for,
my
like,
hypothetical, I added too many
niche
variables, but this was
audiences,
kind of the
or
thing
is
that
this,
he was
like,
suggesting was that
the
Paul
more
McCartney was on
obvious
his
answer?
deathbed
Is
and he
this,
saw
like,
his
the
guitar,
songs?
he
Like,
might
is this
sit and
for
wonder to
everybody?
himself if he had given up
And,
the guitar, he could have gotten all that time
like, I
back.
don't
He was
really have a-
describing
I
this
don't
to
have a
another
problem with
person
the
that
film
called in
being
who
made.
also played guitar,
Well,
and
I
he
have
was
a problem with the
struggling
way it
with
was
like
made. I
what's
think there's
the
an
you know the
ethical
banality of
twist to it. But then
practicing
I
guitar.
also
Because he's like, I'll
think
never
that,
be as good as blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, no shit, pussy. Go fucking pick up the
maybe
guitar and go
making
practice
people,
until you get good.
you know,
That's all
if
those
you're watching
homies
it at a
get
film
good.
Festival, I think it
You know?
just strikes people
Wow,
differently.
that was really fire. I
and
can't believe
think
that
it'll
happened.
probably
That
be
was
better
super sick.
suited to a
Guys,
more
I'm getting out of here. That was kind of all I was
artsy
sticking around for. I can't believe I got it on video.
But other than that,
Yeah, get good. Exactly. Holy
Okay.
moly. That was so awesome. Guys, thank you so much for stopping
and
by.
there
Next
were
time you
a
see
lot of
Hans,
questions
give him a
about
shout
this.
out. Tell him that I had my little
So can you
15
just kind
seconds
of
of
give
fame
like
with Mr.
a
Girl. And
breakdown of your thoughts about
and
Cubes?
yeah.
Because people are asking.
guys have a lovely, lovely rest of your
His
day.
wife-
Daliban
for 24
We
shouts
did.
out. Dude, how do I get the
And
Hans of
the
Hakir
issue, I think,
thingies?
was
Do I have to subscribe to
anytime
him?
you
Is that how I
said
get
something
that?
about